ESPN2. The 5th round of the Nascar Craftsman Truck Series is at Martinsville Speedway, and we're here for the NAPA 250. Round 5 underway, and I'm Marty Reed along with Benny Parsons. Kyle Petty's joined us in the booth. Amy East and Dave Burns are patrolling pit lane. We are under our 3rd caution of the day, and the reason is for a spin by Rick McRae. He did not make contact with the wall, but earlier we've had 2 stories that we need to bring everybody up to date on. First one being Ernie Irvin right at the start.
Ernie Irvin on the parade lap had an oil line or something come loose, had to go into the pit area, had to start at the very end of the field. There we see he's back on the racetrack and now has worked his way from 36th up to 20th spot.
As you take a look at the NAPA field summary, Mike Wallace is our race leader. He has led it from the get-go. The parentheses on the right side, that shows you where everybody started the race. Setzer and Hornadays moved up 3 spots to take up 3rd. Bliss and Biffle round out the top 5. The other story on lap 30, our 2nd yellow of the day, was brought out by Rick Crawford. Hit the wall hard. He is okay, but the Circle Bar RV and Motel Park Ford is going to be in the race shop for a long time getting some repairs. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Our restart will be at lap 50 of 250 here at Martinsville. Glad you're with us. Mike Wallace has led every lap so far. Remember, you get 5 bonus points for leading a lap and 5 more for leading the most laps. That's Dennis Setzer right behind him. And looks like he'd like to get those 5 bonus points, guys.
Yes, he would. Dennis Setzer started 4th, but here he's got some trouble on his tail as Ron Hornaday is right on that tailgate trying to get on the inside, and here he comes. Just a little bit of shove, and Setzer goes up the racetrack, and Hornaday backs off and lets Setzer have the spot because he got into him coming off turn 2.
Yeah, he just barely got into him, but it was just enough to mess Setzer up, and you know, that was pretty decent of him to let him have the line back if that's what he did.
That has allowed Mike Wallace, as you watch Dennis Setzer, you can see the gap. Wallace has opened up about 3/4 of a second lead. 198 laps to go here at Martinsville.
Well, that's good because now we can see who's the fastest. Can Hornaday catch Setzer? Can Setzer catch Mike Wallace? We'll find out which of these 3 trucks are faster.
As we're watching this, guys, one of the stories I probably should point out for everybody at home, the fastest race lap so far has been turned in by Joe Ruttman at 91.7 miles an hour. Ruttman, back after missing 2 races, currently running in 13th position. Meanwhile, Mike Wallace just keeps clicking off some very steady race laps at about 91.2 miles an hour, about half a mile an hour slower than the fastest race lap.
That last time by, Dennis Setzer was just a tick quicker than our race leader, Mike Wallace. There we see, we're riding on board with Mike Wallace, the Team ASC Ford F-150. Right behind him comes a Dodge and then a Chevrolet. This is the way NASCAR loves it, Kyle. Ford, Dodge, Chevrolet.
And every one of them running within, you know, 1/10 of a second of each other. It's real competitive. This is, I think, the race last week. We were sitting in Bristol watching the race last week. Saw how competitive that race was. Every truck race they run is just so competitive. This is the way NASCAR racing really used to be when the manufacturers ran it.
We're going back towards the battle for 9th, and that is Kevin Harvick and Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton making his first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series start of the year. As you can see, he started 22nd and has managed to move his way up through this field. So he's looking good.
He is looking good. We're ready to crack the throttle, play with the throttle a little bit off turn 2, so that means the chassis is not perfect. There he is in the Dana Dodge, a team truck to Butch Miller.
His best finish here was 1997, 5th in NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He has 8 Craftsman Truck Series starts and won the pole here back in '96.
I was going to say, there's been a couple of times that Bobby's run the trucks here. He's been incredibly fast, only to have something go wrong with him. And then in the Winston Cup car, this race last year, he blistered the field. I mean, we didn't know where he went or where he came from. He just absolutely just runs circles around everybody.
I know where he went. He went to victory lane.
That's true. That's true.
Kevin Zawinski in the 31 truck trying to get on the inside of Stacy Compton. Coming off turn 4, he laid that right front fender on the left quarter panel of the 86, but couldn't quite. Tried it once again.
Let's go down to Dave Burns. He's got an update on Stacy Compton.
Stacy's not happy right now. He's lost power steering in the 86 truck. That may not be such a bad thing, though. Kyle, didn't Ricky Rudd win here last year without power steering?
I think Ricky Rudd won a race here and without power steering, but let me tell you something. He was absolutely whipped when it was all over with. Compton's doing a great job. When Compton first came in with a Winston Cup car, he did an incredible job. Out-qualified about 2/3 of the Winston Cup field, so he knows how to get around here, power steering or not.
Yeah, just turn the ignition off on your car at home and then start trying to turn the wheel. You get a little bit of an idea of what it's like to wrestle these things without power steering. The 31 of Kevin Sawinski, 7th in the points right now. He's got 3 top 10 finishes out of the 4 starts so far. And you can hear the spotter talking about where he is on relationship to Compton, and those guys running well. Look at, we move further back. Here we are on board. That's Lonnie Rush in the 75 Spears Chevrolet.
And Butch Miller trying to get by on the outside, but Butch went up to try to take that spot away. It looks like he's going to lose one to Ron Barfield in the Ice House truck.
So he drops back a total of 2 positions from 17th to 19th, does Butch Miller. The 21 there, that is Tim Steele, and it's good to see him back. He missed 2 races. He had such a severe case of kidney stones. They had to do surgery. And I can't imagine how painful it was. He said it wasn't very comfortable. In fact, Amy East, you had a chance to talk to Tim Steele earlier this week.
Tim is so excited to be back in the truck. He said he has a little bit of discomfort, I'm sure, in the lower back area, but when he sits in the truck, he says he feels no pain, and he's ready to start racing in this truck series again.
What is it about you race car drivers? You always feel better when you're behind the wheel.
And I'm sorry, but Randy McDonald, who qualified so well, looks like he has a problem. He's very slow on the outside.
He is shown in 18th spot right now and is under attack from Tim Steele and Scott Hinson right behind him. We've got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We are working lap number 67 of 250 here at Martinsville Speedway. The NAPA 250. Our race leader, Mike Wallace. Take a look at our race leaders, Mike Wallace and Dennis Setzer, and they have opened up about a 3.5-second margin over 3rd place Ron Hornaday, and that brings up a question that you posed a little while ago.
Well, we wanted to find out because there was a little gap between the 3 cars, trucks I should say, and now we realize who are the 2 quickest. That is Mike Wallace and Dennis Setzer, because the 16 of Hornaday couldn't hang with these guys. He's fallen back almost 4 seconds behind.
Well, Hornaday has not had a lot of great success here at Martinsville. Dave Burns, you got more?
Marty, the change they want to make when they come in is to soften up the right front. They've got spring rubbers in there, and they want to take one out. So when he has a chance, when the leaders pit, Ron will come in and make that change.
Hornaday told me before the start of the race, he says, if I finish top 5 here, you'll see me do a backflip. He has won twice in our first 4 rounds of racing. Now as we move back a little further, there is Jimmy Hensley. He's running in 7th, right in front of Greg Biffle in the 50 in 8th. Kevin Harvick is in the 98.
And that is Mike Swain Jr. in the 27. This truck has been driven by Ernie Cope. Some races in 1999. This is the first ride for Mike Swain. As we see Harvick trying to get by on the outside, Swain has now gone a lap down. Actually, he's 2 laps down. And Greg Biffle right in front of these guys has fallen back to the 8th spot. We saw him running 4th for so long, and 4 trucks been able to get by.
So now you can see Swain is actually, we can point out, he's 27th in the fields. We have 26 trucks right now on the lead lap. Stacy Compton going around. The 15 you got a glimpse of there was Joe Ruttman. Here is our race leader, Mike Wallace. In fact, that 73 truck, that's David Starr. He is in 26th right now. He's on the verge of going a lap down. Boy, you talk about guys that were excited. They got into this race on a provisional all the way from Dallas, Texas in that 73 truck. They didn't think they were going to make it, but they did. They were the last truck at the 36 in the show.
Here's Setzer trying to take a look on the outside as Mike Wallace trying to put Starr a lap down.
Working lap number 79. Setzer does have the outside line. Starr trying to give everybody as much room as possible. Wallace is going to get by.
You know, that's the way Martinsville is. You catch the guy that you're racing with, and your enemy, which in this case for Setzer is Wallace right now. You catch him in a box and try to box him in somewhere. and hope that the line that you choose is a faster line. That time Star wasn't fast enough to allow Setzer to go on around the outside.
So we now have 25 trucks on the lead lap.
And look, Andy Houston, we're right along with Andy Houston, the Cat Reynolds Chevrolet, and he is the next truck to go a lap down to the leader, Mike Wallace.
Amy East, you've got more on Dennis Setzer?
Even though Dennis says that his truck's a little tight, he feels that if he can run up a half a groove, a little bit higher than Mike Wallace, he can take him. The crew chief is telling him, just relax, take your time, let's get through this traffic and see how this race pans out.
Well, he has got a nice pace going with Mike Wallace. They're in control of this field right now. Boy, Andy Houston right in front of Mike Wallace. This guy was 22nd quickest in the practice session. He said last week was his #1 for frustration. But he said he was hoping for a top 10. It doesn't look like it's going to happen.
And right in front of these guys is last year's winner, Jay Sauter, the Goodwrench truck. There he is. Just 3 trucks from Mike Wallace.
And Jay, who qualified 30th in this field, said if I can make it to the first yellow where everybody stops without going down, I got a chance.
I think that's the way you always approach a short track a lot of times, starting that far back, knowing that if they get in single file, instantly you're a half a lap behind. You hope for an early caution to get everybody bunched up to allow you to be able to make an adjustment in the pit and pass a lot of people on pit road. No matter where you do, passing people in the pits is the best way to pass people.
Let's go to Dave Burns with an update on Jay Sauter.
They were happy Wednesday when they tested here. They had a pretty fast truck. In qualifying, they made a significant gamble, and it didn't pay off. So they went back to their original setup. They were hoping not to see an early yellow. They didn't get lapped. That came through. But their truck was fastest on Wednesday, up to about 50 laps, and then it fell off again. And that's what we see happening now with Jay.
Boy, we just saw the 06 go way high. And we got a lead change as Dennis Setzer was able to take advantage of it and moves into the front spot.
Just like I said a minute ago, if you're running in that position, you hope something happens to the guy in front of you. He gets in a box or has to check up or something. That's exactly what happened to Wallace. When McDonald went up the racetrack, Wallace checked up. Setzer never did, and he drove past him in the first place.
So this is the first laps that Dennis Setzer has led this season, and he is about to put Andy Houston a lap down. Hornaday is still ooh, got a little tail happy there.
He's trying to turn that Dodge underneath the Chevrolet as he came off the corner. And as you said, lost the tail for just a second. And these two guys both from Hickory, North Carolina.
You mentioned turning. That was the one thing he said to me before the race, is that this truck is really turning well.
So far, just watching the 1 truck and the 2 truck run, Setzer's truck is really, really good through the corner. Here's the pass that they go in. There's something happening up here. You see the 88 car get out of shape. You see the 2 check up. All of a sudden, Setzer takes the line away from him. They're 3 wide there for a second with McDonald on the outside.
Cook got checked up and got sideways because of what happened to McDonald. It was like a chain reaction. Luckily, nobody made contact. Now, we're on the front left fender of Dennis Setzer's #1 Dodge. And you get a great view. The first time we used it was last week. Got a lot of great response from everybody who saw it. And so there it is again. Last week was on Stacy Compton's Dodge.
I can't believe ESPN's crazy enough.
All right, 10-4.
To put a camera on the outside of a truck.
Okay, 34, you got one up in
Jack
the wall.
Sprague has a problem.
Yellow is out.
The right front.
He's hit the
believe
wall
it's
with this
debris with
GMC
the 24.
Chevrolet.
Looks like
Looks
he
like
just barely touched the wall.
the right front tire is flat. I guess he hasn't made a lot of contact with it, but at least the right front tire is flat. And that's probably from brakes, Kyle. What do you think?
Yeah, a lot of times the brake temperature gets so hot it'll blow the bead out. And what that is, it blows where the tire connects to the wheel. You have a lot of that here.
So this will be our 4th caution of the day. Let's go back and see if we can see exactly what happened to Jack Sprague.
Goes down the corner right behind Bliss. He starts going the outside, and all of a sudden we see the right front tire go flat. And I tell you what, he was lucky to stop that vehicle.
He was blessed to stop that vehicle, but you see how good the brakes are. He went in the corner, the thing went down, and instantly he jams the brakes, and it stops the thing.
So Jack Sprague, who came into this race 4th in the points, actually tied for 3rd, is going to drop a few spots today because he's going to lose a lot of time getting this one fixed. And this is something that we were all interested in finding out. We're going to find out now from Jack Sprague just how many laps you lose when you have to come in and make a change like this.
Well, this is on the caution flag. The concern that we had is how many laps you'd lose, say if the green flag were out. But he is on pit road now and with the caution flag out, so he shouldn't lose but a lap or 2.
Dave Burns is there. Dave, he's coming your way.
Jack Sprague in. They go over the wall to work on the right front. Dennis Conner is still the rear tire changer. He lifts the truck today to try to get it up under there. They were just a little bit tight coming off through the center of the corner, so they're going to try to adjust at the same time, and you see that rubber coming off. It was gone.
Man, what a mess.
The smoke and the heat, that was awesome. Remember, you can only change 2 tires at a time under the caution. Here comes everybody else. So our first real round of pit stops at lap number 92 here at Martinsville, and we're going to get an idea
Right around the corner here,
on this
3,
new configuration.
2, 1, go, guys.
Let's go down to Dave Burns.
Ron Hornaday makes his stop. They will change right side tires. He was a little bit loose coming off. There he says it's tight in the middle of the corner. Amy East.
How about your leader? Dennis Stetzer taking the left side tires. He feels this is going to help him loosen up the truck so that he's not so tight in the center.
Well, the way they shake out is about the way they went in. Setzer first, Mike Wallace second, and Ron Hornaday third. Look at this log jam. We got a traffic stop.
What happened? B.A. Wilson just stopped. He couldn't get into his pit correctly and basically stopped, and he really had things jammed up down there.
Yeah, he was not even in his pit box. I'm not sure what the truck rules are on that, but in Winston Cup, that's a major penalty.
So we'll keep our eyes on B.A. and find out if the penalty will be assessed.
We talk about what a tough break it had for Jack Sprague. He has the flat tire. He's now leading the race.
We'll be back with more on the NAPA 250 from Martinsville Speedway. Don't go away. High above with the Pennzoil copter cam, we're getting ready to go. Green flag racing here at the end of our 4th caution. We'll be restarting here on lap number 96. Thanks, guys. Great view. Now let's take a look at what happened in pit lane. Look at the 85 truck. Kyle, you pointed it out.
Yeah, the 85 truck just stopped in the middle of pit road. He probably couldn't get into his pit because of where the 50 truck was as we go back to green here, but it just created a bottleneck right there in the corner.
Now Dennis Setzer is the race leader. What happened was, if you remember, the caution came out for Jack Sprague's flat right front. Well, he got back out, went to the head of the line, but remember the pits were closed, so he has to go back to the longest line, and he is now running in 22nd position.
That was a penalty for pitting when pit road was closed. As we see Setzer already put a few car links on Mike Wallace.
Going to find out who's made the right adjustments. Wallace seems to be dialed. He was good right out of the box yesterday. He's got Hornaday right behind him right now, and he has been in either first or second every single lap.
And I think under that pit stop, I think Setzer changed the left side tires. But he was complaining about his car being a little bit tighter. He changed left side tires. His truck is really getting through the center of the corner right now.
Our points leaders and the laps that they have led. Hornaday here, I mean, you talk about 473 domination, but he's only led 4 laps at Martinsville.
That white truck that you see back behind is Kevin Zawinski. Came in the pits in 10th spot. So the Bob Brebrack crew got him out in 4th spot. Great pit stop. And also Stacy Compton, no power steering at all, is now in 6th spot. And Bobby Hamilton back there, the Dana Dodge, has worked his way up to 6th.
So the pit crews doing their jobs and helping their team get better track position. Boy, right now it is Setzer and Wallace trying to pull away. There is Bobby Hamilton. He is side by side. That is a battle for position with Stacy Compton. That is for 5th on the racetrack. And as we come to the line this time, it'll be given to the number 4, Bobby Hamilton.
Kind of surprised that they didn't raise the hood and try to figure out what was wrong with power steering on the Royal Crown Dodge.
You know, we used to be real bad about throwing belts off, and you could put another belt on, but now the technology with these pumps are, if they go out 90% of the time, it's because something internal's happened to the pump. You don't even worry about it. You just have to keep hammering along on it. But it's very, very rare when they do go out. 3rd
truck in this freight train is Stacy Compton's teammate, Randy Tolsma, but he had a little bit of a contretemps with the 44 of Ernie Irvin on the restart, as those two had a little bit of contact. But let's go back and show you what happened. Watch for the 44 and the 25.
We'll see the black truck of Randy Tolsma, and there's Ernie Irvin in the 44, the Federated truck.
Gave him a little bump there, let him know, hey, I'm back here.
That's a little bump. He had his rear tires lifted up off the ground there in the middle of the corner. That's a small. Ernie's done, you know, we spoke about it. Ernie started all the way at the back because he had the trouble under caution. And, you know, and now he's worked his way up into 8th place.
Jack Sprague trying to make his way up through the field. He's moved into 18th already.
And that's Mike Stefanik in the 66 truck right in front of him. Stefanik is in 17th. And Mike Bliss, our pole sitter, is the next truck up there in 16th. So obviously the X-Side crew had some problems on their pit stop.
If you're Jack Sprague right now and you've already blown a bead out, if that's what happened to the tire, hopefully you ran over something and cut it instead of blowing a bead, because now you're starting at the back. You've got to abuse those brakes and abuse that truck to get it back to the front, and you already realize, hey, was it a bead that blew out because I was too hard on the brake? How do you change your driving style? So he has to adjust a little bit here.
Oh, here's the battle for the lead, and looks like that Setzer is jumping wrong. It looks like he's slowed down now.
Wallace really just running down almost, but you saw how clean Setzer drove right there. Setzer knew he was faster, and he gave him room to the outside to go on and run. These two guys are the class of the field right now. They're the best two trucks out here. They've been able to pull away at the wheel. And
That's all right, Dennis. They got them right side tires. We got our left, Bubba. We still got 2 to go.
Ah, there you go.
You can see, he said, we've got our left side tires. We've still got our rights that we can put on. So when he knows, hopefully later in the race, their strategy will play out. He's still the best guy out there with left side tires right now. These two trucks are. So hopefully the race, or they're thinking the race will come to them.
So Mike Wallace is back into the race lead now as you take a look at the NAPA field summary. The Ford contingent led by Wallace and Sawinski in 4th. Boy, that auto trim design Ford's got a good run going right now. The Chevy camp is led by Hornaday and Sauter, and then there is Setzer leading the Dodge contingent. We have 21 trucks on the lead lap, and the laps led would have been all Ford and Dodge, 87, and all 87 been by that guy right there, Mike Wallace. Setzer's had the rest of them. Rookie points getting tighter. Stefanik and Hansen, where they're currently running right now in the field. Here comes Jack Sprague around Mike Bliss. I'm wondering, does Bliss have something wrong with that truck?
I don't know. He's back. That's the pole sitter. He's back now in 17th spot. As Sprague gets by, never seen Jay Sauter go up the racetrack. Sprague turns under him, trying to take that spot away. That's 15th.
And Jay Sauter said, if I can make it to the first yellow where everybody stops, I'll be okay. Well, he doesn't look okay.
He's not okay right now. And you know, Bliss started the race and dropped back to 2nd or 3rd, and I thought he was really just driving conservative and saving his stuff. But you know, 120 or 30 laps to go at a place like Martinsville, you can throw the conservative stuff out the window. It's time to go.
And Sprague's pulling away from these two. So wondering if Mike Bliss has a problem with Sauter just running up the hill. He can't hold that truck down on the low line for trying. He won this race last year, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a repeat unless they can figure something out. Sprague, got to give him credit for one thing. He has made every race of ours this year interesting from his standpoint.
Yes, he has.
He has bounced off the wall several times. Won really hard at Homestead. We make our way back up towards the front pack as you get a look there. There is Joe Ruttman again. Oh, and look at the margin now. Remember the tire difference that we heard the guys talking about on the radio as Mike Wallace has opened up about 3/4 of a second on Dennis Setzer.
What happens when you change right sides a lot of times, the right sides are so much they're so sticky that you can go in the corner and they don't allow the
be on the track.
That French driver has done it again to us. They're saying it's in turn number 4 as far as the debris. Let's go back and see what happened to Jack Sprague. Maybe this is part of the debris we're looking for. That's Kevin Harvick in the 98.
He just goes in the corner, puts a slide job on Kevin Harvick, and takes a spot away.
Well, I didn't see anything fall off of either truck, so obviously that's not the reason for that debris. A lot of contact, but no debris. In fact, he's got a little stuff hanging from the back there, but that doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere. It'll just hang loosely. Boy,
now the question is are they going to make pit stops, or are they going to go in and change? Is Mike Wallace, the leader, going in and change the left sides that Dennis Setzer changed earlier? Is Setzer going in and change right sides? They could probably run the rest of the way. We see pit road was closed the last time by. This time should be open. A lot of decisions have to be made.
Green flag is out from Danielle Riggs. There she is. So pit lane is now open. We're going to find out as on the backstretch now. You just get an idea. There's Mike Wallace. Will he bring it in or will he keep it out? And he's... is he going to come? Yes, he is leading everybody in. So now we'll see whose tire maneuver was better, Setzer's or Mike Wallace.
And again, these guys have got to make these great pit stops to get back out in front. See the pace car on the left side? The leader, Mike Wallace, is taking a shorter distance, but he can't pass the pace car and get into his pit. Once you get on pit road, you still have to maintain 35. You also can't pass the pace car. Amy East?
Timmy Coo tells me that Mike Wallace is so happy with that truck. And you're right, Benny. He's taking on right sides. I'm sorry, left side. And they're going to make no chassis adjustment whatsoever. Get some fuel, get some fresh tires. The Ultra Bad Boy is going to do it ultra fast.
They did some pit stops last week, and he did it again. He's going to give him the lead. There's Mike Bliss as they're working on the left side of the X-side Ford. You know, when this pit stop works, it's like a beautiful choreographed ballet. When it isn't right, it looks like Homer Simpson.
And obviously those three trucks that we see there came in 1, 2, 3. They go back out 1, 2, 3. And Stacy Compton looks like will be the fourth truck back out.
Stacy had a pretty decent pit stop. I think he picked up a little bit.
Andy Houston, as we get a look at our crew cam there, Benny.
This is Scott Houston and Greg. Scott Houston, the tire changer. Left side's on and away he goes.
That was a good shot. From that shot, it looked like that the tire changer had 3 arms because the tire carrier is able to reach down in there with his arm and try to put the lugs back on that are falling off. So it gets pretty chaotic inside a single tire change during these pit stops also.
And the other arm you saw was Greg Tester.
And they're going to have to wait for the paddleboard to be turned over by Mike Dolan. And we are going to take another break. We're under yellow, our 5th of the day here at Martinsville Speedway. We'll be back with green flag racing. Mike Wallace has been black flagged. He's pulling into the pits. And Amy, you're there.
This team is so disappointed. They're going to jack up the car from the rear. They feel as though they have got problems in the rear end. As you see, the car just wants to shift. It looks like there may be a crack in the rear axle. This truck is just in bad shape. The team's in a bit of a situation as they bring a backup jack now to make sure they can get this truck up and up so that they can figure out exactly what's wrong and do the best they can to help out Mike Wallace.
Fell off the jack.
Yeah. They're using pit jacks to try to jack up under the house, and then there's not enough of a wide enough base that just rolls over.
What?
These guys are racing right here for second now.
There's also
Second, third, and fourth.
one other factor in that pit lane area right there. There's a bit of banking right there. And it's not that steep, but they definitely had some problems. So there you're right. It is Stacy Compton in front of Kevin Sawinski, and Bobby Hamilton now as we go on board with Bobby. He's looking to the outside. As we watch this battle go on, remember when Ron Barfield, right before the commercial break, pitted under green? We wanted to find out what the effect would be on this new pit lane area. Well, under green was 5 laps.
5 laps, but he didn't change tires. We still don't know what it's going to be on the tire. Oh, you see Sawinski almost get out of shape up in the corner, trying to get alongside of an 86 truck.
Park him in the fence.
You heard him say if he does that one more time, I'm going to park him in the fence. That must be Sawinski, but I want to tell you something. Compton left the door open. Sawinski just drove down in the corner, got up on the curb a little bit, and hopped up into Compton. There goes Bobby Hamilton, who's able to take advantage of it and drive around him on the outside. Bobby's one of those guys that we talked about a minute ago, but he's just been steady, so you don't know what he's got or if he's got anything for sensor if he gets to that point.
Well, he qualified 22nd. He was 25th quickest in the last practice. And, boy, I'm telling you, he has just found the combination. Let's take another look at it. This is what brought all this to our attention.
You see him hit the curve right there. He drift up and get into it. He's trying to stay off of Compton. But you saw just that little puff of dirt right there where he got up on there.
Let's go back to our race leader, Dennis Setzer. He's now led 42 laps. Wallace, before having that problem, had led 123 of our scheduled 250. He may be able to hold on for the extra 5 bonus points that would go there. He'll need them now because he is well back in 25th spot, 8 laps down. That is the battle for second between Compton and the 86. There you see where he started, 16th, his worst effort of the year in qualifying. Bobby Hamilton making his first truck start of the year, and he has come up through the field after having a 22nd qualifying spot. And then Kevin Sawinski right there in the 31 Auto Trim Design Ford, and they're going around Mike Swain Jr. as he is a couple of laps down.
So Hamilton finally gets that spot away. Meanwhile, here comes your 5th place truck. This is Randy Tolsma. but Coleman is about 8 seconds behind the leader. Right now, the one truck, Dennis Setzer, just said goodbye to this group of other trucks. He and Mike Wallace appeared, as we talked about, appeared to be the class of the field, and Mike Wallace isn't there anymore. So Dennis has it kind of his own way right now.
Looking back at Jimmy Hensley right now as he is running in the 6th spot. He's run well here. In 98, he finished second. In 97, he finished 4th. On board with Ernie Irvin. Ernie in the 7th slot. Now, he started 11th officially, but remember, he had that pre-race problem, had to go back to the back of the grid. So Ernie's done a heck of a job to bring the Federated Auto Parts Ford back up to 7th. Let's go back and update Ron Hornaday. This is our defending champion, and he has dropped well back, guys. He is running 13th right now, under attack from Kevin Harvick for that position. There's on board with Hornaday.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure if the handle just went away after he got into that outside wall. He and the 2 truck of Wallace were factors for most of the day, and then all of a sudden, both of them drop out of the top 2 or 3 within about a period of 4 or 5 laps.
Dave Burns, you got more on Ron Hornaday?
Hornaday complains of being very, very loose. He needs a pit stop to try to tighten that truck up after starting 6th. He is running 13th, as you mentioned. Also, just for the record, Butch Miller dropped out. He broke a gear in the 18 Dana Dodge.
Well, as we look at Ron Hornaday, if you're into numerology, every other year is good for Ron. Unfortunately, this is a bad year. In 97, 2 years ago, he finished 32nd. In 95, he finished 13th. And he said he'd do a backflip if he finished top 5. He has finished 3rd and 4th here, but that's always been on an even number of years. It's been a useless statistic. It's just something to think about.
Right now, Harvick, this looks like the race for the victory down in Bakersfield a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately, now it's a battle for the 13th spot.
And there is Stacy Compton running as only 6 seconds behind our race leader. So that tire strategy where Setzer's team changed lefts first, then the right, they've still got those fresher right side tires. Do you like that?
They've got fresher right side tires, so you can say strategy worked. At the same time, he's got nobody running and pressing him right now.
Trouble down in turns 3 and 4 as Ron Hornaday has gone around David Starr.
And right in front of the leader. And Hornaday now is a lap down.
So Hornaday, you can see Dennis Setzer right there. Hornaday's going to try and get around again, but I don't think NASCAR officials are going to let that happen.
No, they're not going to. And David Starr also sitting down there. Another truck that spun.
The last truck to make it in under the provisional. All the way from Dallas, Texas, still looking for some sponsorship to be able to make more of the races. This is our 6th caution of the day. We usually average about 8. And this happens at lap number 176.
Unfortunately, Ron Hornaday, Kyle was wanting that caution flag to make adjustment, but when you really want one, it's usually you.
Yeah, that's one of those deals you're asking everybody. You're asking the good Lord, I just need some debris on the racetrack. I just need a caution. Just don't let it be me, and it ends up being you.
So on board with Ron Hornaday, and get an idea as he's got the goggles up, trying to get some fresh air. Let's go back and take a look at Dennis Setzer, see what happens as we go back.
There we see the 2 trucks spinning, Hornaday and Starr, and watch Dennis Setzer. He jumps across the curb on the grass and goes by those 2 trucks.
Man, that is 4 wheels off-road, guys. Take a look from this angle. Does he do any damage to that front end of the truck? Ooh, look at that spin.
Looks like that synchronized swimming. That would be an Olympic event for this.
Yeah,
synchronized spinning.
And it's going to be tough to see whether Setzer has any damage, because I'm going to tell you, that curb's about 4 or 5 inches tall, and you can bend the ball joint or knock the toe out pretty easy.
Well, Setzer leads everybody into pit lane here on lap number 177. Let's go to Dave Burns.
Kevin Sawinski has had a great day in the pits. They picked up 6 positions the first time. Came out even before they changed right sides. And get Kevin out of here. Stacy Thompson beats him out. Amy East.
Dennis Setzer's taking on more right side tires. His truck is awesome in the 13-second stop on right side. He's going to keep those lefts on for the rest of the race.
See Mike Chris pull it back out as well with Jimmy Hensley as they go door handle to door handle. We'll sort out the serial for you, but Setzer is going to remain our race leader here at Martinsville Speedway at the NAPA 250. Back with a lot more racing action after this. back at Martinsville Speedway, round number 5 of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. You're looking at number 16, Ron Hornaday. On board with Dennis Setzer. Here's what happened just a few minutes ago.
We gotta get by those guys. Come on down low. There you go. You're on through it. Okay, you're good.
We got to get by those guys, but stop with the wreck. There you see David Starr bouncing off the curb in the side of Ron Hornaday. And right now, Ron Hornaday is 1 lap down. The worst nightmare that Dennis Setzer can have, Kyle. Ron Hornaday on the inside trying to get a lap back.
Let's take a look at the pit summary. Setzer in first, out first. Look at Bobby Hamilton. Comes out in 13th.
Green flag, go, go, go. 16 is.
Back to green flag racing on lap number 182. And boy, Hornaday wants that lap back. Look out.
And right now he gets it back. Meanwhile, we got a battle for second spot. Zawinski and Stacy Compton.
You know, the best thing that Setzer can do in this position is to let Hornaday have it back. Hornaday's not been a factor in him all day long. He's been able to get around him and pull away at wheel. There's no reason to race this guy and wear your tires out with this many laps to go.
But here he goes, and look at him go across the curb and knock the left rear quarter panel off, and here comes a battle for the lead as Compton goes on the inside.
Boy, Kyle, I think you hit it on the head. Now he's in jeopardy of losing the race lead. He had it under control. Compton has got it. Maybe we're at the line. Yes, according to NASCAR timing and scoring. Stacy Compton's your race leader, but Setzer hasn't given it up yet.
I'm not sure Setzer's going to give it up.
Boy, he has a great truck. And he retakes that lead. And Stacy Compton, we asked during the break, and they tell me that he does not have power steering and has not had power steering since lap 5.
Dennis, be patient. Way to go, bud. Way to go.
Compton's going to have the most serious case of arm pump you can ever imagine. If you don't know what arm pump is, it's sort of like, well, I've always described it as being like Popeye and having loose forearms but no spinach.
Crossrider's good. Compton's definitely going to have it. I'm going to tell you, Setzer, you know, you hear his spotter talking to him, just telling him to be patient, calm down, get back in his groove, and he'll run Hornaday down here.
Let's go back and take another look.
There again, coming off turn 2. And Setzer's down on the curb, but Hornaday trying his best to stick keeping that lead lap. Runs him down there, and so far it worked for Hornaday, but now he's still right there in front of.
That's short track aerodynamics right there. And I'm amazed Setzer would take that chance because he could have easily cut that right front tire.
Yeah, Setzer's just really good through the center of the corner with his truck. And I don't think that Hornaday knew he was there. If he did, he didn't allow him much room. He gave him a little bit of room. He opened the door a little bit, and they just got together right there. And you see the way these quarter panels come apart.
So right now, Ron Hornaday is at the back of the lead lap. He's in 17th position. He wants a yellow right now desperately, and he doesn't want it to be him again. Setzer in front of Stacy Compton by 1.1 seconds, and Zawinski's in 3rd. Jay Sauter has moved up to 4th. Greg Biffle has moved into 5th while all this has gone on. So those two guys, Sauter, we thought he was in all sorts of trouble right at the first yellow, and he has fought and battled his way back. His pit crew has put him into some good position right now.
Had a great stop that last caution. He came in running 13th and went out running 4th. He picked up 9 or 10 positions right there, and like I said in the beginning, that's the best, safest place to pass is on pit road.
So as you see the freight train coming on by the start-finish line, there's Jay Sauter just going through the bottom of the screen. There's Randy Tolsma, and he's got Mike Bliss in the X-Side 4, the number 99, right in front of him. That's a battle for 7th on the racetrack. Take a look at the NAPA field summary. Points as of now, Setzer would gain 3. Houston would lose 3 positions. Bliss would jump up 4 to 12th. Hensley would jump up 4 to 14th. And Rick Crawford's going to drop a lot. He's going down -9 to 17th. He's already out of this race. 60 laps to go here at Martinsville. You're on board with Jimmy Hensley. 2.6 seconds behind the race lead. And there is Jack Sprague coming into this mix. But Sprague, he's had all kinds of trouble. Going to go to the outside of the 25 of Randy Tolsma.
Sprague's made it exciting. He cut a tire one time. He spun one time. Not caused a caution when he spun the one time. He's back up here running 8th or 9th, challenging on the outside.
Well, that's the thing that's been amazing. Despite all these problems in all these races, he still gets top 10 finishes. As all this is going on, the number 99, the X-Side Ford, Mike Bliss at the wheel, got his 13th career pole. His truck owner is Jack Roush, and he's with Amy East.
Mike place is definitely not where Jack Roush would like to see him right now, having that quick lap yesterday. Jack, you've got a lot of experience with Winston Cup and pit stops. How do you think you can help that 99 team have better pit stops to keep Mike up front?
I probably had more experience with problems with pit stops than I have with things really that worked as well as they might. We've got to get the 99 crew and the 50 crew both to spend some time with their brothers in Charlotte. You know, there's the things and techniques that they can be helped with. The 50 had problems with its pit stop a minute ago, and the whole time they were trying to change the right front tire, Biffle was turning the steering wheel. So it's a coordination between the drivers and the pit crew, and they all need to just do their job a little better.
Okay, good luck today, Jack.
Thank you.
Jack Roush seems to think that it's just a little bit of inexperience on these truck team parts when it comes to pit stops.
Dennis Setzer is slowing on the back straightaway, and he is heading for pit lane. So our race leader is in some serious trouble.
Could it be the right front tire's gone flat from that damage?
Watch your speed, Dennis. Watch your speed.
Could it be? Yes, it is. The right front tire has gone flat. Maybe that contact with Ron Hornaday has punctured this tire.
So Stacy Compton's going to inherit the race lead. Amy East is standing by in Dennis Setzer's pit.
All right, get ready, guys. Right side tire. Just be smooth.
You guys,
Ready,
Dennis Setzer is
go,
just
go.
now hitting his pit mark, and you're right, he has got a right front flat tire. Now, earlier in the race, when he initially made contact with Hornaday, when Kyle had commented on his left turn with Hornaday, he felt he had a right front going down at that point, so he backed off the throttle to see. Contact again, it's definitely made that tire.
Go, go, go. Go, go.
So he's back out onto the racetrack.
Now, you want to know how much time it would cost to make a pit stop on the green flag? We'll find out when he gets back up to speed how many laps down he is.
There's some more contact right there between the two of them. Whoa, a second round of contact.
That's what caused the tire to go flat. Once again, Ron Hornaday trying to, and Kyle, that blocked it a moment ago. That was not very good.
Now, and here we are, we're coming out the corner. And here's Hornaday, and they're getting together again, but they're in the middle of the straightaway. So, you know, it's just he needed to be probably to be a little bit more patient there and just give himself a little bit more time.
Especially with all that sheet metal that's torn away, and that's what got in there. And Setzer is only shown being one lap down. Stay with us. We've got to take a break. Stacy Compton is your race leader here at the NAPA 250 at Martinsville Speedway. Kevin Sawinski is second. There is the debris, at least one piece of it that is out on the racetrack. Another piece down there. So we are under our 7th caution, lap number 207 of 250. Our race leader is Stacy Compton. Jimmy Hensley has moved into second.
But Ron Hornaday did not get his lap back. Mr. Compton was able to get by him, and he tried. Oh, he tried. Hornaday tried to get that lap back, could not do it. There we see the damage that when he and Dennis Setzer got together. Now, this could be a break for Setzer because he's only one lap down. On the restart, he might be able to get that lap back. He can still win this thing.
Well, while we're cleaning up the track, we're going to take one more break here at the NAPA 250 from Martinsville Speedway. Stacy Compton up front. Back at the NAPA 250, round 5 of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, where Stacy Compton is leading at Martinsville for the first time today. In fact, he's led a total of 16 laps, and we're on board with our Pennzoil copter cam. Great crowd on hand today, and of course tomorrow the Winston Cup race. You'll see it here on ESPN. These guys still circulating under caution at lap number 211. And there is Stacy Compton. You know, he has finished either 3rd or 4th in every race prior to this round number 5 action. Let's go down to Dave Burns with Kevin Cram.
Marty, the only tires they had left to put on were left sides. Kevin, you chose not to put them on. I mean, you put lefts on at about lap 90. Can they go 160 and still be fast?
Oh, yeah, not a problem. Goodyear has come with a great tire. I'll tell you what, since lap 5, we haven't had any power steering. Stacy, man, he's pretty tough. He's been holding on. The Dodge is tough. These guys have given us great pit stops. Got us track position. He's able to hold them off up there. To lose track position would be real tough. That's why we chose not to pit this last time.
All right, they played their hand. Stacy stays out, and he takes him back to green.
Started at lap number 213. You notice Dennis Setzer was lined up right alongside inside Stacy Compton, he could get his lap back that he lost when he cut that tire down, but no, he falls in the third truck in line behind Jimmy Hensley. The two Dodges running 1 and 2. We said it for you. Kevin Sawinski is in third. Greg Biffle is fourth. And the 99 of Mike Bliss is fifth. And here comes Hensley. And you said it during the break. You think Hensley may have the fastest truck right now.
I just think that Stacy Compton without power steering is just going to be very difficult to run to. And stop. Compton almost spins up in the corner, which allows Hensley to get by. And that dodge by Petty in front at Martinsville. Now that's a real shock.
Yeah, and that's one thing with the power steering. Stacy has to drive really, really hard after a restart. And that's when it's going to be the worst because he's got to drive in the corner. You saw him open the door coming out of turn 2. Hensley looked but didn't really take it. And then going into turn 3, Stacy had to drive it on down in there and it got away from him a little bit.
So Jimmy Hensley becomes our 4th leader of the day, our 8th lead change. And he is trying to open up a little bit of distance. Meanwhile, look at the 99 all over Sawinski. There is Biffle.
Biffle was able to get by Zawinski a couple laps ago and take over the 3rd spot. This is a battle right there for 4th spot with 31, the white truck, the 99, the X-side truck of Mike Bliss, our pole sitter, and Jack Sprague, the 24.
So Bliss has got it wired on the bottom, but Sprague's able to make it stick on the high side. So he holds on to the spot. He is currently running in 5th as they'll come by this time.
Sprague takes that spot away, continues his march toward the front. And you're right, Jack Sprague has made this truck series in 1999 very, very exciting.
There is Sawinski. That's his next target as he's coming up on 4th place. Sprague. All this is going on will tell you that Jimmy Hensley has opened up a 1.1 second lead over 2nd place Stacy Compton.
On the rundown just a moment ago, you saw Mike Wallace back in 26 spots, 21 laps behind. I'm told it was an axle shaft, a broken axle shaft on the Team ASC Ford that put him behind the wall for 21 laps.
Randy Tolsman in 7th as we're on board with the 8th place truck of Ernie Irvin. They're 4.5 seconds behind the race lead. As we move back up to Jimmy Hensley, that's the margin from 1st to 2nd. So the hometown hero is doing okay. Stacy Compton from Hurt, Virginia in 2nd. Stay with us. Petty and Benny Parsons, Amy East and Dave Burns down in pit lane. I'm Marty Reed. You're on board with our race leader, and that is Jimmy Hensley looking for career victory number 2. Here's the best battle on the racetrack, guys. 3rd, it's owned by Greg Biffle right now, but Jack Sprague wants it.
He's caught Biffle, and he's right on that tailgate of that Granger Ford. Meanwhile, Kevin Zawinski is there as well in that 31 truck.
Zawinski in 5th. That would be a career best finish for him if he can hold on to it.
Oh, some contact between Sprague and Zawinski.
I was getting ready to say, Sawinski's just sitting there waiting right now to see what happens there, take advantage and try to pick up another position or so. He's been right there, been able to take advantage every time somebody got a little bit out of shape.
The serial on Sprague, if you hadn't watched this race, you wouldn't know all the trouble and trials and tribulations that guy has been through. But he has put himself in a position to score quite a few points. He may not win this thing, probably won't, but he is working as hard as he can on Greg Biffle right now. He just gave him a biff right in the tail.
He's right there looking on the inside. And he's driving to the corner and going to take that spot away.
Whoa, and they are side by side. Little brush, no major contact. He's only got 2 donuts on the right side of that 24 truck.
And Zawinski was trying to get on there and trying to follow Sprague. Could not quite make it. But I tell you, the 31 truck has had a terrific run here at Martinsville today. I would assume this is Zawinski's first trip to the Speedway.
I don't know. He come off the ASA series. He was a champion up there, and these are the kind of tracks they run, these tight little racetracks where the cars really got to work well. And you know, he moved south to get a shot at doing this, and is taking full advantage of it.
Sawinski ran back here in 98, guys. He started 19th, but he got swept up in an accident and ended up finishing in 30th position. But he has got Biffle in his gun sights right now. While all this is going on, I'll tell you, Jimmy Hensley has opened up a 4.3-second lead, and in this series, that's huge. Sprague is 5.4 seconds behind as he's running in third. Yeah, take a look at the comparisons. He's not really closing all that fast.